I gotta say, man, the will of gamers is unparalleled. I know a lot of times we're just sitting there clicking heads, blasting aliens and whatnot, but I gotta say, gamers are resourceful. And even though Trials did get canceled this past weekend due to this exploit, I gotta say, I am so proud. I know, everybody's appalled. Oh my God. Win trading, you bastards. Now, amongst all the shit that happens in Trials with recoveries, with cheating, my God, everybody's cheating. You know, I don't blame anyone to resorting to this method. And matter of fact, it's pretty elaborate. So first up, let's start from the beginning of how this system works because it blows my mind. So you essentially have two characters. One character, which is, I guess, your main character, has a Trials passage on them. This is your main character. The second character will be your burn character. This is the character that you're actively going to be matchmaking with. This is to initiate the win trading, but not putting your main character at risk of getting a loss. Now, the reason why this works is you match people with similar emblems. Normally, it's these two Hawk A emblems and just some normal emblem. And if you match folks with two Hawk A emblems and a normal emblem, that means they are game. They are now ready to take place in the China Casino Flawless method. Law. Is that what we're calling it? Really? Essentially, though, the guy that is rocking the normal emblem will then send a message to the other guy on the opposing team who is also rocking a normal emblem. And they will send the command random 1 through 10. Now, whoever has the highest number wins the game. This is win trading, way more elaborate, but that's essentially what it is. It's win trading. But they will win the game. If they get the lower number, they will lose the game. Now, the team that's actually got the higher number will then proceed to swap off to their main account with their clean card with no losses. The guy with the normal emblem still stays in to hold the place, and Bungie actually allows for folks to rejoin back into Flawless game on other characters. So then they'll rejoin, and upon rejoining, the team with the lower number will then return to orbit and back out, leaving the game and giving the win to this team. This team will now secure yet another win on their Trials passage. They will proceed to get back on their alternate characters that does have a loss on their card and proceed to re-queue, find yet another team who is rocking this same emblem combination, and then do the random number command, so on and so forth. Now, everybody was mad, man. I mean, everybody and their mama was like, oh my God, this dilutes Flawless loot? What is this, Bitcoin? Blows my mind, man. I've never once in a video game gotten an item was like, no, you can't have it. Especially in a game that has no currency and no trading. It'd be completely different if we had an in-game currency, trading, all those things, and people were like doing this and obtaining like the highest value items. Yes, Flawless loot is rare, and adept weapons are even more rare, but at the same time, amongst all the shit you gotta wade through inside of Trials, this method right here was by no means an easy method to go flawless. Do you realize how many things you have to satisfy? You have to satisfy, number one, that the opposing team is even playing the same game you're playing, that they too are taking advantage of this China Casino Flawless method that up until like this past weekend wasn't really public. Like, I didn't know anything about it. Matter of fact, when I think about it, I don't even know if I've matched anyone with those emblem combinations. Regardless though, I can only imagine how long it actually takes to find a team who's also rocking these emblems, who's also game, because you can imagine there's probably trolls out there that are rocking Hawk A emblems, who are just bored out of their minds, probably goes through the number command, gets the lower number, and then still kills the opposing team. This is truly a faith system. Now, granted, considering you can swap characters, there's little to no risk. It's just time. Time is the only thing you lose out on. The time it takes to find a team, the time it takes to win, roll after roll after roll, however many times that actually takes. And then considering what the flawless rewards were even this week, which was just armor. I know the 7-win reward was a shotgun. The reality is, it's a hell of a lot of work for, well, very limited amount of loot. Now, I did hear that this system was actually in play over a week ago during Exodus, when Igneous was the flawless reward, and there were people that were actually getting Igneous and its adept version through this method. Now, the whole reason why this began to make a splash is because Trials Report actually put out a report over this past week that over 50 or nearly 50% of all players who were playing in Trials had 0 kills but were going flawless. Now, there's only 2 ways that can happen, and I've seen it happen on console. It's called DDoSing. Yeah, baby. Every game, you got knocked offline. You didn't have to kill anyone. But this was happening on PC. And don't we have DDoS protection on Steam? Which kind of blows my mind. It's like, imagine a condom that can only protect you against like one STD. That's essentially what we get here on Steam and Destiny's anti-cheat. Because everything else gets through. It's like, yep, we got you, baby. Herpes, you'll never get them. But chlamydia, HIV, gonorrhea, syphilis? Oh, yeah. That can still happen. But you ain't got to worry about herpes. That's the equivalent of Steam's protection. Now, this was still eyebrow raising because this is kind of bizarre. People going flawless without getting a single kill. I know they're not DDoSing. What is happening? Win trading was the only way this could possibly happening. But I've seen win trading in the past, and it's never been an effective way to go flawless. I've seen people try to do win trading all day long and still not go flawless. Because again, it requires you to match an opposing team that is game to play. Obviously, this method started getting shared around a bunch, and there was lots of players that were game for it, which is why nearly 50% of flawlesses this past weekend were from people that were win trading. What really blows my mind, though, is how quickly Bungie moved on this. From Bungie help, due to an issue, Trials of Osiris has been disabled for the remainder of the weekend. So you're telling me that amongst everything that Trials has to deal with, amongst all the cheating bullshit, the constant account recoveries, the fact that stasis even exists, you're telling me that folks spawning into the game with unlimited colony shots, rocket launcher ammo, and unlimited supers, that's not where the line gets drawn on Trials? But no, instead, this is the moment. The moment normal, casual players figure out a way to get flawless, Bungie draws the line. Now, I know I'm taking some things out of context. All right, I get it. You know what I'm doing. But the reality is this. No game mode that is healthy, that is rewarding, that is fun would ever push 50% of players to the point of just sitting there, win trading, and playing number simulator with each other all day long. You're telling me, instead of logging into a video game and taking part in the act of clicking heads and shooting up bad guys, most players that ever step foot inside of Trials would rather sit for hours on end and roll a dice. The reality is this, guys, regardless of whether or not win trading is bad, obviously it's not good. Regardless of whether or not account recoveries is bad, both win trading and recoveries are going to continue to increase if Trials doesn't start becoming a playlist that folks actually want to play in. I don't know how many times we've already talked about Trials, the state of Trials, what Trials needs to do to correct itself. At this point, I don't even make them anymore. QJ's made a few. They're actually good. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with all those videos. Here's the problem with those suggestions. They don't ever get heard, and it's getting worse season over season. The organic growth of the Trials playlist plateaued a very long time ago, to the point where the players you do run into, and I know I guess this is a little more catered to PC, but the majority of players you do run into are account recoveries and cheaters. Every now and then, you run into legitimate players. And here's the thing, my recoveries always have this same argument. They're like, if you didn't match us on a recovery account, you would just match us on our main account. First up, I know you're full of shit because you're making money and you don't like me attacking your piggy bank. I've said this in the past, man. If there was a bailout program that could wean you off you doing account recoveries, I would file for it. Really, I would fund it, because I see a lot of people doing account recoveries and now they've become dependent on it. They need that money. But I'm not speaking from the perspective of whether or not you need money or from the perspective of what's good for our wallets. No, I'm speaking from the perspective of what's good for the game and the playlist. I've seen Bungie and Destiny 2 and Trials at its peak in organic growth inside of Trials. I've seen players actively jump into the playlist for both enjoyment and rewards. Both of those things have greatly tapered off, especially enjoyment. Like, rewards are important, and I think there should be rewards. I even mentioned this past week and had a lot of people giving me hell about it for freebies, but why not a seasonal challenge that at the end of the season, if you complete this seasonal challenge that's related to Trials, you get a single adept weapon of your choice. And all of a sudden, oh my God, what is this, socialism? You damn commie. No, dick. It's called letting some people get some loot. And you're only upset about it because you're worried that it might dip into your piggy bank. So to me, for the people that were win trading this past week, I think this should be one of the clearest examples to Destiny and Bungie on the state of Trials as of now. Never in my life, in any other game, would I choose not playing the game while on the game. Like, do you hear how crazy that is? You're playing the game, like physically there, but you're not actually actually playing the game. So what the hell is the purpose? What it boils down to is that the state of trials has gotten so poor, so piss poor, that players would rather do that. So guys, that is my thoughts on it. Again, for my people out there that are actively cheating, fuck you. And for my players out there that are actively doing recoveries, make it while you can. I've been telling you this for a while because the end is coming. The end is coming. So you might want to pay down that debt. You might not want to buy that car right now. Look, just giving some financial advice, that's all. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.